Hello, my name is Travis Allison, and today I will be teaching you how to make a dish called inihaw. And it's a Filipino dish that was passed down from my grandfather to my mother, who then taught us. So to start us off, I'm going to introduce the different tools that we'll be using to make this dish. So first of which are our oven mitts, which are important for basic safety. And then we also have a pot, which we'll be using to boil some of our ingredients. And this one in particular is a rice pot, and I use it just because it will make it a bit easier, but any type of pot will do as long as it can boil rice. And then our second is a pan, copper pan in particular, but you can use any type of pan. You just need to make sure, if it's not copper, to use foil and lay it over the top so your ingredients don't stick. And then we also have a fork, a knife to chop up our ingredients, measuring cup, and a bowl to gather our ingredients in. And then to move on to the ingredients themselves, go ahead and start off with about half of a sweet onion, 2 tomatoes, I choose vine in particular because I like the taste of, and then some distilled vinegar, some soy sauce, which this particular brand is La Choy, then some water, then the rice I have on here to the side, and you can use any type of rice. I just prefer jasmine because it's less starchy and you don't need to rinse it out to prepare it for the meal. And then perhaps the most important part of the dish is the pork chops, which these are a bit of a thinner slices simply because they're easier to cook and they're faster. So from here, we're going to move on to the first steps. So to start off, we're going to need to add some water to our pot. So it's important to remember when cooking rice that it's about 2 cups of water for every cup of rice. And I will be preparing a meal for 2 people. So we're going to be getting about 2 cups of water. You're going to go ahead and set that to high. Okay. And while that's boiling, we're going to go ahead and start on the preparation for the pork chops. So once you have these all laid out, just go ahead and set them side by side. Okay, if they don't all quite fit, just make sure that they are like that. Okay, once they're all laid out, you get your soy sauce, and you'll be pouring them over the top. So don't be afraid to just dump it on there, because they kind of need to marinate in there. So just get it in there real good. Once you have soy sauce on there, you need to set your oven to about 385 degrees on bake. Okay, and you're going to set the timer for about 30 minutes. And this can change depending on how thick your pork chops are and how many you have. But for about 5 thin pork chops, 30 minutes is more than enough. An important thing to also remember when you put the pork chops in is that about 15 minutes in, you will need to take the pork chops out and flip them over and then add soy sauce once again. Okay. Okay. And from there, we're going to go ahead and start preparing our sauce. So, like I said, you can get up to a single slice or half an onion. I'll just preparing a single slice. Oh. I killed it there. Okay. And you do that also for the tomatoes. Okay. And then once you have chopped up your tomatoes, you can go ahead and put them together in a bowl. And once they're all finished, it should look something like that. Okay. From there, we're going to go ahead and get our vinegar. And we're going to need to pour out about half a cup of the vinegar. And that's settled. And we pour that on top of our tomatoes and onions. And we also do the same for the soy sauce. Well, it's not coming off, it's deciding to be stubborn. There it is. Okay. Alright, so once again, about half a cup. Add that. Okay. Once that's added, you go ahead and get a spoon and mix it together. Okay. Once it's all mixed, the finished product should look something like this. Okay. And by now, our rice is, or our water is definitely boiling. So, like I stated earlier, since we're cooking for 2 people, we're going to need to put about a cup of rice. And just go ahead and add that in. Go ahead and put the lid on there and let it boil. From there, we're just going to go ahead and look at what the finished product should look like once it's all done cooking. So to start off with, here is the pork chops. They should be well cooked and be brown from the soy sauce. Okay. And the rice, once it's finished cooking, should look something like this and have a very similar consistency, with not too much of it sticking together. And once you have that, you go ahead and prepare the meal. So you get your rice and use it as a base. Spread that around. Then get your pork chops, and I personally like to cut mine up and put it over the top, so like that. Put it on. Now that we have that, we get our sauce and put that over the top. Alright. And once we do that, it is ready to eat. So bon appetit.